So welcome everyone. I'm Trinity Simons. I'm the executive director here at the Mayor's Institute on City Design, which is a leadership initiative of the National Endowment for the Arts in partnership with the United States Conference of Mayors. So we're thrilled to have you here today to learn about our newest program, the Mayor's Institute on City Design Alumni Technical Assistance. So as you know, if you're already an alum of our program, typically at the Mayor's Institute, we host very small in-person events where mayors from around the country bring a case study project from their city. They receive candid feedback from a group of design experts. Obviously, these programs are on hold during the pandemic. So we've pivoted in 2020 to a whole suite of virtual offerings instead, like our mayor's virtual seminars, which are small group discussions on timely topics, for example, helping small businesses survive the pandemic. So we're so excited to launch this new technical assistance program because it lets us offer more of that in-depth personalized design assistance with real city projects that the Mayor's Institute has been known for in our 34-year history. Today, we're going to briefly run through those program details, with some sample projects before we jump into Q&A. Keep in mind that this is a pilot program for us, so our goal was to keep this application super simple and open-ended. We're excited to see what direction you take with it. And we certainly hope to offer more of this opportunity again in the future and reach more mayors with one-on-one assistance. So this program will match MICD alumni mayors, so mayors who have already gone through our in-person offerings, with design experts to work through a city design challenge. This is going to be a lot like the experience of bringing a case study to a national or regional Mayor's Institute. You select a project and a team of experts, two in this case, are going to advise you on that project. This could mean anything from physical design ideas to implementation advice to funding strategies. And as always with the Mayor's Institute, this is at no cost to your city. So we've opened this up to two types of projects. This can either be following up on the project that you brought to your MICD session, or a project that's related to racial justice and COVID recovery, which we know are on everyone's mind right now and intersect so heavily with the built environment of our cities. So why alumni technical assistance? It's always been our mission to empower mayors to be the chief urban designers of their cities. And the MICD model brings top talent in the city design fields directly to mayors, which means pairing you with experts in architecture, landscape architecture, urban planning, development. And we've long been looking for ways to better support alumni mayors after attending a Mayor's Institute session, since typically you only attend a Mayor's Institute session once. Since you already know our program, we think you'll really be able to take advantage of this kind of follow-up. It also, I think, goes without saying that this program is suited to this particular time, virtual and on a flexible schedule. So we've been hearing from our resource team alumni all year, also asking how they can help mayors during this extremely challenging time. So I'm going to turn this over to Grace Aran at this time, who's our program manager for the Mayor's Institute on City Design. And she's going to run through more of the technical details of the program before we open it up to Q&A. Speaking of, the Q&A function here in the webinar is open. If you've got specific questions, feel free to use that, and we're going to address those during the webinar as well. Grace?
Thanks, Trinity. Hi, everyone. I'm Grace Oran. I'm the program manager for the Mayor's Institute on City Design. And as Trinity said, I'm just going to take us through a few more program details, and then we will launch into your questions. So a bit about eligibility. As Trinity has said, this program is just open to MICD alumni mayors at this time who are currently in office. Within that, we're encouraging you to apply from any city size with any project that falls into those categories that we've talked about. We can only choose a limited number of projects for this round, but within that, there's very few limitations on what types of ideas you can apply for. Here's a bit more about our selection criteria, how we'll be selecting the projects to go forward with. This is all available on our website too. Aside from projects that fit what I've just mentioned, we're also looking for creative projects. We're looking for buy-in from the mayor and relevant staff. We're looking for projects in neighborhoods that have been historically underinvested. And we're looking to curate a group of projects that in total will represent a diverse range of population sizes, geographic locations, and different types of challenges and opportunities. Since this is a pilot program, we do think it's important to start with the mayors who are already familiar with our program, but we certainly hope to have wider offerings in the future and open this to other mayors as well. So if you're not an alumni mayor, please stay tuned for future rounds of this program and check out our other offerings like our virtual seminars. And if there are any resource team alumni watching, we also invite you to express your interest in the program. We've got a short form you can fill out on our website, and that page is micd.org/ATA. Again, as Trinity said, this is at no cost to cities, and MICD will be compensating the resource team members directly for their time. We expect that to be about 15 to 20 hours of consultation on your project. And since we're using alumni from the resource team as well, you are hopefully familiar with the caliber of professionals that we bring to the Institute and the type of professionals that would be available to you. Once we select the mayors and match them with their pair of resource team alumni, we expect it to be about a 6-week process, all virtual. You and your team will attend a kickoff meeting with your resource team. The resource team will step back and conduct their research interviews with stakeholders, staff, and then you'll all come back together for a final presentation to talk about their recommendations. We know you're all very busy, so it's very little time commitment required from the mayor. Just attend that kickoff meeting and the closing meeting. But of course, we encourage you to be more involved as your availability allows over the 6-week period. And again, our goal for this is to be a lot like the experience of getting project feedback at an MICD session. It'll be super targeted. It'll be multidisciplinary advice that doesn't result in detailed architectural drawings, but helps you navigate the big picture and gives you a bold, inspiring roadmap for your next steps on your project. And again, this is a pilot program for us, so this process may evolve based on what we find is most helpful for all of you. So a few sample projects. The past case study project hopefully is pretty self-explanatory. If you've brought a project to a national or regional session, we encourage you to move forward on that project. Maybe it's been a few years, maybe it was just last year, but the landscape has changed a lot with the economic recession and all of the changes of this year. So that one hopefully will be clear if you want to move that direction. If you are going the new project route, here's an example of a project with a racial justice focus. In New Orleans in the 1960s, Claiborne Avenue was a thriving African-American business corridor on a beautiful tree-lined street, and it was torn down to construct an elevated highway, which we know is a familiar story from many of our cities. So in recent years, the community has been reclaiming the space below it to celebrate culture, promote entrepreneurship, and use it for recreation. So there's all kinds of art, pop-up markets, and the like in recent years. And this is a really direct example of trying to undo racial injustices that city leaders and federal policy have inflicted on communities. And many cities are now experimenting with reclaiming those spaces and righting those wrongs. A new project example with a COVID recovery focus. Here's an article that was just in Next City today. In fact, in Durham, North Carolina, the city and nonprofit partners are working with residents to do collaborative designs of pedestrian-friendly shared streets. And this is in a neighborhood that has no sidewalks and sees a lot of drivers speeding through. And residents have expressed a critical need just for safe places to walk. So this is a short-term, super engagement-focused approach, but it'll inform a longer process as well of making this community safer. And again, keep in mind that we're just excited to see what you're working on and what you think is most important and best suited to this kind of assistance. So don't feel obligated to stick too close to these examples. I think a lot of you probably have a project in mind that you are interested in moving forward with. So with that, we will dive right into the Q&A. You can see the Q&A button at the bottom of your screen. So feel free to enter your questions there. We've also got FAQ on our website that you can check out, and you can always contact us at the email addresses shown here. We're going to be starting to review applications tomorrow, and we'll keep the applications open on a rolling basis as we have resource team members and funding available. So we encourage you to apply as soon as you would like to. So Trinity, I'll find some questions and have you answer them.
All right,
And again, if you guys have any questions, we encourage you to type them into the Q&A box here.
great. Thanks,
So,
Grace.
so here's one question. If we can't find the materials from the MICD session that our mayor attended, can we get copies of those? Yes, definitely. We have copies of all of our past session materials. So just email us at the email addresses shown here, and we will send you a link to download the materials.
Yep.
Let's see. How long should the application take?
So we designed this application to be really quick. We know that you are really time strapped right now, so we think that once you've decided on a project, we think the application should only take you about 5 minutes, maybe 10, but should be very quick. And if we have additional questions from the application when it comes in, we'll reach out to ask any clarifying questions.
All right. Can we submit more than one idea for a project? Great question.
So we're asking at this time to go ahead and pick one project and just submit one project at this time. If you want to send us a kind of test email with a few ideas and run those by us, we would take that. We would respond to that before an application submitted.
All right. And can you define alumni mayors a little more specifically, Trinity?
Sure, that's a great question. So at this time, our alumni mayors are those that we consider alumni mayors to be those who have attended an in-person MICD national or regional session. So those were the sessions that we offered pre-pandemic. So those do not include our virtual seminars that we've been offering. We're hopeful to continue this program into 2021 and in whatever form it evolves into as we are able to be responsive to the needs of mayors. But this round is open to mayors who have previously attended in-person Mayors Institute on City Design sessions.
All right. And can mayors request a specific expert, maybe one that attended their MICD session, to work with them if they're selected on this program?
Yeah, so we encourage you to do so. If you've built those relationships and you would like to continue to work with a resource team member who was at one of your sessions, absolutely, that there's a space for that in the application. Also, though, know that we're going to be balancing many factors when we are pairing mayors with resource team members, including their availability and fit in selecting the resource team members. But that's something that we would absolutely consider.
And can you say a little more about the deliverable that mayors should expect to receive at the end of the program?
Yeah, that's a great question. So the deliverable will be much like what you receive after attending an institute. In this case, will be a presentation for the final recommendations on your project. That'll be based on the key questions that you identify in your application and your initial meeting. So this might consist of funding strategies, of design recommendations, of implementation steps, of ideas for framing an RFP or next steps tailored to your project. Those key questions that you identify with your resource team will really shape what those final recommendations look like, but that will be in the form of a presentation and a report out that's really tailored to the questions that you've asked of this resource team.
All right. And is there criteria that will help on the application process? We have this up on our website, but if you want to say a little more about that too, Trinity.
Do you want to take that one, Grace?
Sure. So aside from just making sure that you are an alumni mayor and that your project fits into the categories of either your old case study or a new racial justice or COVID focused project, we're really looking for something that you think would be suited for 6 weeks of kind of intensive relatively high level guidance. We're also looking for creativity. We're looking to, make sure there's buy-in from the mayor that you will attend at the minimum those kickoff and closing meetings. Projects in neighborhoods that have been underinvested over the years. But a lot of this, we're just excited to see what you have to come up with. There's not a lot of specific criteria that we're requiring. So it'll, part of that we will have to see, and in future rounds, we may be able to be a little bit more specific about that. All right. Does this come with any additional funding opportunities, Trinity?
So not specifically, but as part of the key questions that you ask of the resource team, you can certainly ask for assistance in identifying potential funding sources as part of those key questions.
All right. And can we share a little more about the time frame once they apply? When can they expect to hear back? And if selected, what will kind of happen from there?
Yep. So we're going to start reviewing these applications on a rolling basis as of tomorrow. As Grace said, that we will be reviewing and pairing mayors with resource team as we have resource team members available and funding available. But once you're selected, we'll introduce you to your resource team, set up a kickoff call. The resource team will take it from there for approximately 6 weeks. And again, the mayor can be as involved as they want beyond that kickoff meeting and the closing meetings. We are looking for most of this work to happen in 2020 and in early 2021 for this round.
All right. Any other questions? If you want to type them into the Q&A box, otherwise we'll expand a little bit more on a few items. But again, we're really hoping that once you think of a project, it really should just take a few minutes to let us know about it in that application. There's no documents required, not a whole lot of writing to do. And in case we have any resource team folks or design professionals listening in, Trinity, do you want to say just a bit about what we're looking for there?
Yeah, sure. So we have an application on our website for resource team members who have previously worked with us to express their interest in participating in this program as well. Mayors who are in attendance know the high caliber of design and development professionals that we bring into our resource team. You can expect that same caliber to be involved in this project. As we get your applications in, we'll be matching you with resource team members that fit in terms of the scope of the project and the direction of the project. If it's primarily architecture or landscape, if there's a transportation component, a development component, as we always do, we're going to be curating your case studies to match resource team expertise. So we're really excited to be a little even another level higher of curation than we normally do at an institute, which is still a pretty high level of curation. But potential resource team members can reach out to us via that application on our website, which you can find at micd.org/ATA, to reach out to us to express interest in applying. If you are interested in, again, as is the case with mayors, we're looking for resource team alumni to participate in this program. So we're looking for people who have previously participated in MICD institutes. If you're interested in participating in institute in the future, also please reach out to us. We're always looking for new talent to join us on our resource teams as well. But for this opportunity, people who have already participated in an institute.
All right, so I don't see any more questions come in. We've had a couple nice notes from mayors. Thank you, mayors. And if you need to reach us, certainly, or if you have any feedback on future rounds of the program or questions about how to apply for this one, please do let us know. Any closing words, Trinity?
No, just thank you for your support and your interest. Again, this is a pilot program for us during a challenging year of pivoting our programming in a number of ways. We're here primarily to continue to support you mayors, and we've been trying to do that at a number of different touch points. We're very excited to be able to do this one, very specific to the issues that you're facing in your community, to be able to reach, deeper, take a deeper dive than we've been able to do in our virtual offerings this year. So we certainly hope that you take advantage of this opportunity and, be flexible with us as we're learning along the way, and we'll be the same with you. But we're looking forward to launching this programming and seeing what we get in terms of applications. And don't hesitate to reach out to us with any additional questions that may pop up as you're filling out the application. And thanks for your time today.